Hello and welcome to Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. On today's show, we'll be joined by Laurie Zaleski, the inspiring founder and owner of Funny Farm Rescue and Sanctuary, rescuing and caring for hundreds of animals in Mays Landing, New Jersey. But first, we're joined by Becky, Elfant, and Matt Stanzione from Kendra Scott, a jewelry brand that's not just about style, but also about heart, giving back, and building community through its pillars of family, fashion, and philanthropy. Becky and Matt, it's so wonderful to have you in here today.
Thank you so much. So good to be here.
Well, thank you for all the bling that I'm sporting, by the way. Thanks to you. I mean, I feel like a goddess right now.
You look amazing.
Looks great.
Well, and my favorite, and everyone's going to laugh when they hear me say, is the football I'm rocking. And actually, that's what brought us together today, because we have worked on so many events, especially pre-COVID when you first opened up at Short Hills Mall. But what I guess sparked this reconnection is your work with the New York Giants, who I also know and love and worked with as well. So let's start there and how Kendra Scott entered the sports world.
So we have several sports partnerships with professional teams throughout the country, and we decided to bring that energy and that spirit to New York and the New Jersey area as well. So we started our partnership with the Giants this past season, in the 2024 season. And when we started working with them, they offered the opportunity to work with their flag football program. So they bring the idea of girls sports and girls flag football to not only New York, but all of New Jersey as well. And they offered us to be the title sponsor for that program. And we were so excited to do so. We joined them for their kickoff events this spring. We're able to gift product to their kickoff teams. Someone from each team that attended was chosen by a coach, and we awarded them a piece of jewelry to celebrate. And just really bringing a voice to girls' sports and women's sports was really important to us.
Why is it so important to Kendra Scott to be aligned with that?
Yeah, so our mission really is to empower women and youth in the areas of health and wellness, which brings in the sports play, but also education and entrepreneurship. So for us, we really wanted to connect with a wide range of age, so professional sports all the way down to kids just starting with sports. And we really want to inspire them, and especially girls in sports, to know that they can grow up to be confident women and also give back the way we're giving back to them.
I love that. Well, wearing your jewelry is very confident building, because I feel like $1 million. What did you bring in today?
So we actually have our sports collection here. This collection is also really special to us this year. Through our Kendra Scott Foundation, we actually have our Kendra Scott Foundation Sports Fund. So all of these styles here, plus I think about 5 or 6 others and more to come, 1% from all sales from these collection of pendants will actually give back to women and girls in sports.
Amazing. I'm obsessed with that. And they look so good. I noticed the megaphone for cheerleaders, and they come in different colors. So if your local high school wants to come in, they can get that.
They can get that. We also do a lot of customization. So in addition to having different colors in the cheer pendant, we have our color bar, which is really unique to our brand. You can come in, you can customize some of our most iconic styles with any of stones or shapes that you choose. So it's about your sports teams, but it could also be about a birthday or a celebration, an anniversary, birth of a child. There's so many options there.
Well, I like what you rocked. Did you hear this story? We were talking off camera.
So I'm coming up on 13 years living in the tri-state area. I'm originally from New Zealand, and I wanted to commemorate that anniversary. So I made a little white and black necklace for the white and black cookie, the iconic New York cookie that I love so much, unfortunately.
I know. I know. Yeah. You can't get enough of that. I love this. So you have, this is a perfect example. You have the football charm with the number, so you can go to any Kendra Scott and get maybe your players, or your own number, right? With your symbol of sport and everything else. So I think that's really cool. So for those, I'm very familiar with the Kendra Scott story, but maybe people listening are like, well, why are they so charity focused as a jewelry brand? But that's where it all began with Kendra.
Definitely, yeah. So she started her jewelry business 23 years ago out of her spare bedroom. And
as most successful businesses do.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, no, like she totally bootstrapped it. She handmade jewelry, put it in a little tea box with her 3-month-old in the baby carrier, and went store by store in Austin selling her jewelry. And she really started in the wholesale world, but she knew that she wanted to use her business as a way to do good in her community. And she always found a way to say yes. Whenever someone needed something, she knew that she was going to find a way to give back. So much so that when she finally opened her own brick and mortar store, she was in wholesale. She actually got Nordstrom as one of her big accounts, but she wanted to really connect with the customer directly. And so she opened her own store, and there was a line around the block of customers there to support. And she was like, this is amazing, but why are you here? How do you even know who I am? And every single one of them, as she went down the line, had a story about how she had personally impacted them, whether it was, you know, donating to help their daughter get to cheer camp or supporting their mother through breast cancer treatment. She never said no and always found a way to give. So that philosophy has stayed with us to this day. And as we open new stores, we center our entire grand openings around hyper-local opportunities to give back and support families and organizations that are near and dear to those communities. And then we continue that mentality all the way through. We've done, like you said, so many events together in the Short Hills location. We also have our Garden State Plaza location in Cherry Hill. There's no red tape. The teams are having conversations every day with thousands of customers that all have a story and all have things that are important to them, and we're empowered to be able to say, yes, we're going to help you. We're going to do whatever we can to make a difference and make the world a little bit better.
We have done so many events together where so many amazing local charities did in-store events where 20% of all proceeds went back to them. Tell us more about how that program works.
We really live by that philosophy too, that Kendra always says herself, a connection first, transaction after. And that community aspect, our stores are places where people can come together. You can host an event for yourself to celebrate a birthday. You can host an event for a nonprofit that you really care about or you're involved with, and bring your friends, bring your family in, enjoy some sips and sweets, a little bubbly or a snack, and shop and have something meaningful to walk away with. Like you were saying, jewelry, you don't have to put on every day, right? Jewelry is a choice, and there's usually some kind of sentimental meaning to it or a confidence to it that helps you feel confident. And that's what's great about our events in store. And we've really built that into our philanthropy pillar. We really believe the truest form of success is giving back. And those areas of health and wellness, education, and entrepreneurship, we really built into this foundation now as well, that we're able to help locally and even on a bigger level. Some of our national partners we work with, Make-A-Wish, Inheritance of Hope, the Breast Cancer Research Foundation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month is one of our big ones. But we bring it down to the local level too. And Kendra herself says that everyone can make the world better than where they found it. And we've been able to give back since 2010. We've been able to give back $70 million. 70 million in funds and in donation product to help charitable causes. And that's what makes a difference for us. People that work for this company, we can't help but feel that family pillar through that because it really, you feel like you're really making a difference. You're not out there just to sell and make some money. It's connection first.
Yeah, it's a win-win for all. Who locally here in New Jersey have you worked with? I mean, you were telling me other names.
I mean, there's so many, and there's also local families that have, you know, these stories where maybe their child is going through cancer treatment and they need to raise money to support them being able to stay in school and get special, you know, education support or whatever it is. Like, we will wrap our arms around that family and host an event in store, and everyone comes out to support and shop, and we've been able to raise tremendous amounts just in the New Jersey stores alone.
Yeah, in the last 5 years, $200,000 in just the events we have in our New Jersey stores have gone back to families and nonprofits. And a big one is also schools.
Yeah.
So schools or PTOs, PTAs, or even youth sports organizations that all have a nonprofit 501c3 attached to them, which most do. We're even able to help them fundraise and bring their families together in our stores as well.
Yeah.
That's amazing. One pillar you mentioned that I want to dive deeper into, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How does Kendra Scott help the entrepreneur?
So the story, we actually have the Kendra Scott Women's Entrepreneur Leadership Institute at UT in Austin, University of Texas. So that's the big idea that started, but we do it everywhere locally all the time. So we'll host founders markets. Just recently in our store in New York City, we hosted for Women's History Month. Every weekend we had 2 different small business women owners come in and showcase their product, sample to our customers, let people get to know their brand. And we even do spotlights on local boutiques. Companies that are not known anywhere besides their local towns, and help them style with us as well.
Wow, it's unbelievable. No, so you've lived here for 13 years, and you've worked for Kendra how long?
I've worked for Kendra 7 years, and I think for me, I mean, the family pillar, it's not just a value that we talk about, it is truly alive within every single person that works for this company. We treat each other like family, we treat our customer like family. I just came back from maternity leave, having my 3rd baby since being with this company.
I'm still in shock over
No,
that,
but
by the way.
I kind of am too. I pinch myself because, you know, I have so many friends that have had to make that difficult decision to, you know, whether they want to continue with their career, whether they decide to stay home. And I have so much respect for mothers that decide to stay home. But the fact that I work for a brand that has not thought twice about how to make sure I'm able to still have a full career that I'm so passionate about, and also be able to align with my core values around being a mother and being there for my family. I get emotional thinking about it because I'm so lucky, and that's who we are. And there's so many stores. I think we're 96% women. And we just root for each other, and we show up for each other. And yeah, I can't believe I have 3 kids under 5, and I've been able to, you know, 7 years ago when they first kind of took a risk on hiring me, we didn't have a single store in the Northeast. And so we really built this region from the ground up, and I've been able to help support opening over 15 stores now while still growing my family. It's really a special place.
You don't get that from
No.
corporate.
No.
And that family pillar goes towards each other too.
Yeah.
I'm here sitting with you today because Becky and I actually worked together previously at another company.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
really?
We've worked together for like 12
Yeah.
of the 13 years or
Yeah.
something
Oh,
crazy
Yeah.
like
love
that.
that.
And when the opportunity came about, she said, hey, like, we're looking for a general manager for our store in Soho. I was looking for something new, and I couldn't believe what I walked into. And Becky's always been that person that's like so positive and someone who makes everything feel great. And it was the perfect fit for her. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I get to be involved in retail in this big metropolitan area, but actually have heart behind it and give back as well. And that's a big part of what we do too. We have employee giving programs. We do a family fund where we give back to each other and we can contribute through our checks. But more importantly, we give our time back to our communities. Last year, we volunteered, I think it logged in over 7,000 hours of volunteer hours from our employees internally nationwide, giving back to our communities locally.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
I want to work there. I'm kidding, guys.
No, but you know,
But
the cool
I have
thing is,
U.S. friends now. So
Yeah, come by
there you
anytime.
go.
but the cool thing is, like, our store teams, of course, they love fashion and all of those things that come with working in retail, getting to be in front of the customer. But we often find that we hire people that are deeply invested in their communities and really passionate about giving back, and so they get to have fun with jewelry and their styling. And I mean, you could see we could talk all day just about our jewelry
Of course,
alone,
yeah.
but the fact that they also get to turn around and support their local communities, it's pretty incredible what we get to do. So
really is.
yeah.
Well, I am so happy to have you both in studio today, and Thank you for blinging me out. Like I said, I'm like on a cloud today. Like, hello. Where can people find out more about Kendra Scott?
So you can visit our website, kendrascott.com. If you want to specifically look into our philanthropy work, it's kendrascott.com/philanthropy. You can learn more about the Kendra Scott Foundation. If you want to host your own give back event for an organization or even person that you feel could use that help, we're able to do that. And you can actually, through that website, you can reach out to your local store to apply to do so.
Yeah, walk into a local store. Like, you're gonna be immediately treated like family, and you'll get to know each other's stories and go from there.
This is incredible. I feel like Pretty Woman right now.
You look amazing.
It really does enhance the look, right? If people
really does.
say that jewelry doesn't, like, they're crazy and they're lying, because it's everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Your New Jersey with my special co-host for this segment, eBay the Emu. Laurie Zaleski is the founder of Funny Farm Rescue and Sanctuary in Mays Landing, home to over 700 rescued animals and the largest animal rescue in the tri-state area. Her nationally recognized work has been featured in People Magazine, CBS Sunday Morning, and The Kelly Clarkson Show, spreading a powerful message of compassion and kindness. Laurie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
By far the best segment we've ever, and we haven't even started yet, but the best segment we've ever filmed in 4 years of doing this. We have our cuddly animals. We just need like a campfire.
Yes,
right?
that's right. That's exactly right.
Well, let's start from the beginning, because your story is just epic in so many ways.
Yeah, so my mother was going to be a nun and then married the devil, my father, so we escaped. And we moved into a little shack in the woods. She was a Stepford wife, so she had a high school degree. So she did a bunch of odd jobs, but one of them was working at the shelter. And she started bringing home every animal that needed to be rescued that was going to be euthanized. And we were, my three siblings, my two other siblings and myself were like, Mom, we can't even take care of ourselves. What are we doing? And she said, as bad as we have it, somebody always has it worse, and we're going to help them. And that is the truth. And so that's how the whole thing started. And we had 35 animals living in the house with us. We stayed there for 28 years. We were only supposed to be there temporarily. And I always promised her as a young girl, Mom, I'm going to buy you a farm of your very own. And when I was in my 20s, she was diagnosed with cancer and sadly passed away 2 weeks before I made settlement on the property that I'm currently in now. And her dream became my dream. I say life happens when you're busy making other plans. I'm a photographer and graphic designer, and I was going to be traveling the world, and now my cowgirl boots are firmly planted in New Jersey, and I'm staying here. I love New Jersey, but it was just not what I had planned. So I tell everybody, if something happens in your life, sometimes you have to go with it. There's a bigger plan for you.
Absolutely. Well, your mother, I have to believe, is guiding you every step of the way to save all of the animals around New Jersey and beyond that you've been able to. But how does one manage a farm, a house with 750 rescues?
People ask me, they said, when do you sleep? And I said, I'll sleep when I'm dead. It won't be long now. I'm really tired. So my mom died at 52. So I think I felt like I was going to die early too. So I was always hurrying up, trying to get everything done. And after her dream became my dream, I just kept taking in animals. I couldn't say no. I would be like, no. And then all of a sudden the animal would be there. Everybody said, Laura, I thought you said no. And I'm like, I did. And these animals are so helpless. They either once had little or no hope, and now they're living their best lives. They walk around loose at the Funny Farm. So, they all get along, and it's because of how we were raised.
How do you raise and get to know all of these different species?
They're my children. You asked me, do you have kids? I said I have more. I have over 7.
More than I need.
Yeah, way more than I need. I definitely have too many, but it's never too many. Everybody says, all their names? I'm like, of course. I call them by their wrong names sometimes, but they all have names and they all have specific personalities. Like, you wouldn't think that a baby emu would have a personality, and she does. So it's an amazing thing, and it really helps with kindness, with our kindness program, talking to children about saying if all these different animals can get along, so can you as a human. And they help service disabled vets. They come and sit with these animals, and some of them are it's the last hope. They said they were suicidal until they found the Funny Farm.
How many people do you see at the farm on an annual basis?
Thousands. We do our fall festival, and we'll have between 7 and 10,000 people show up in a day. We are all happy. We're called the Funny Farm. We don't talk about their past. We concentrate on where they are now and where they're going. It's really important to me. There's so much sadness. So these animals are happy. They're not all perfect. Obviously, they're here for a reason, but we give them the best life possible. We do have some heartaches. Animals die, especially when I have the geriatrics. They're rescued from abuse, from neglect, from disabled, unwanted. So some of their stories are just heartbreaking, and people say, how do you keep going? I keep going for them because we have to be their voice and we have to help them.
What's eBay's story?
So eBay was hatched out in Union, New Jersey. There were 2 eggs. I don't know if they bought them on eBay because their kids named this one eBay. The sister passed away, as soon as it hatched. And then eBay had a splay leg, which means her leg goes out. And they're very large birds. They're, almost 6 feet tall. When they're large, they have these legs, and if it's not under them, they can't walk, and they would have to be euthanized. So she's in a brace right now. No one would take her except me. So, I'm in southern New Jersey. Union is way north. They drove her down, and she's been with me every day since. Lives in my house, sleeps on my couch, hangs out with the dogs. They all know her. 13 dogs. She thinks she's a dog now.
Oh, well, right now I think she's my baby
She's
boy
like your
again.
baby
Yes, it's like having my baby boy all over again. That's why I'm rocking her to sleep. It's the most adorable thing. What is Tucker's story?
So Tucker came to me as a 7-week-old. A woman took in a female dog, and she wound up being pregnant. And Tucker was one of the babies and kept up chucking his food, throwing up. So they thought, but it's really regurgitation. It was mega esophagus. So from interbreeding is what causes this disability. And they just couldn't get him to eat at all. And they heard about me. I took him to the University of Penn. They said, you really should just put him out of his misery. I'm like, does he look miserable to you? He just eats differently. So it's like having a disabled child or a disabled anything. You just have to give them a chance. He eats in a Bailey chair. He backs in and then will sit up. And then he just has to drink his food. It has to be like a puppy milkshake. And I have 3 dogs that have it. I got rid of my kitchen table, so I have 3 Bailey chairs, and they know how to do it. We go to schools and teach kids about it, and we always say, you never know if somebody's sad on the inside. We should always be kind to one another, because you wouldn't know that he has mega esophagus if you see him running around the farm until he eats. They're like, why is he in a box? Does he not walk? I mean, everybody automatically assumes the worst, but we just have to make special accommodations for some of them.
Wow. How big is your farm?
I bought it at 15 and just kept trying to add on, so we're 25 now.
And taking care of animals is incredibly expensive, the vet visits and everything. So how do you fund all of this?
So again, I have my job as a precautionary measure now. It finally is self-supportive. Our bills are about $10,000 a month just for feed. That's not including vet care. So if we get into a bad vet care situation, I say that's what credit cards are for, and then I work those off as quickly as I can. But we do fundraising. We are not beggars. We've never done a GoFundMe. We are all about having fun. We did an Easter hayride. It's free to get in. My volunteers will be like, Laurie, we had 1,000 people today. If you charged $1, we would have made $1,000. I said, it doesn't matter. My mother didn't have $1 to take us anywhere, and I feel it's my responsibility to pay that forward. We were on a hayride once, and this woman started crying. I was telling the story, and I said, what happened? And she said, I'm in the same situation your mother was in, and I haven't been able to go anywhere but here for the last year and a half, and I have not given you not $1. And she said, I'm happy to say I'm on my feet, and she handed me a $20 bill.
So we have a bunch of your books here. I don't know how you found the time to do any of this, because with all the animals, as I woke eBay up with my loud voice. Talk to us about the books that you wrote.
So these books are co-authored with my social media guy, Matt Reeves, and I did the photography and graphic design for that. And they all are focused around kindness, because there's so much heartache in the world. And we want to start the children as early as we can. So we do from preschool all the way up to 8th grade. We'll go higher, but the kids, when we go with the animals, like you said, the kids are like, this is the best day ever.
What do people need to know when they come and visit?
So before you come and visit, you have to sign a waiver. You can go on our website for that, funnyfarmrescue.org. It'll say visitor waiver. It's free to get in, so anybody can come. We're open 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Sundays, because I do work a full-time job to make sure I have enough money to keep supporting these animals.
How do you get the rescues? Do people call you? Are you tapped into different organizations?
Normally, they have to call me. We can only take in so many. The city's like, how many animals do you have? And how many acres? I mean, we're starting to get, my house can't get any fuller. I'm done with that. There's not going to be room for me pretty soon. But you have to just call me and, depending on the animal and the situation. And if not, we always help try and place them somewhere if we can.
Laurie, where can people find out more about you and to purchase your books?
So you can go to the website at funnyfarmrescue.org, O-R-G, and you can buy all the children's books. The Funny Farm book can be purchased anywhere where books are sold.
Laurie, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming with your friends, my adorable little co-host. And thank you to the Kelly Clarkson Show, because that's where I discovered you. I was up one night, you came on, and when I heard New Jersey, I'm like, oh, I got to find her for this. And here you are. So thank you for driving all the way up here.
Oh, it was my pleasure. And they actually loved the ride and loved meeting you and your staff. I thank you so much for having me on.
And we'll be down to visit you very soon, I'm sure, this summer.
I can't wait to meet you and your kids.
I can't wait either. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining me on another episode of Your New Jersey. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. We'll see you back here next week.